Hey there, little snowflakes. It's me, More Than a Girl, aka Sydney, and today's video is another tag. It is Witchy Tag, something or other, a tag about being a witch. And I saw a video yesterday by Azura Dragonfeather, Azura, I don't know. I'll put a link to her channel in the description, or to the video if you want to go watch that. It's pretty cool. She's pretty cool. Subscribe to her. And she was tagged, and she tagged a few people, and then she tagged like the entire Hatchling clan, which is like her little cyber coven slash amino group slash subscribers. I don't know. And since I'm part of that little amino group thingy, I decided that I would do it. So it's a really long tag, and I'm gonna get started because it's really long. Bye. Okay. Question number 1. When/how did you first know you were a witch? Forever. I've been a witch forever. Okay? No, I don't know. Yeah, okay. I knew I was a witch because I do witchy things, and I cast witchy spells, and I make witchy potions and stuff, so there. And 2008. Yeah, 2008 was probably when I made my first Book of Shadows, because 10-year-olds, right? Question number 2. How long have you been practicing? I don't know. Not that long. On and off since like age 12, when was probably when I made my first altar. But, I never really thought I could practice because, back then I was reading all the books by like Scott Cunningham. Like, that was like my first book was by Scott Cunningham. And I thought you needed all these tools and supplies and like robes and like crystals and wands and ritual baths and like incense and herbs. And so I was like, I give up. I can't do this. So I'm just gonna like read about it and pretend, okay? What was the question again? On and off for about 8 years. How long I've been practicing. Number 3, what kind of witch are you? Now, a year ago, I probably would not have even known what this question meant because I didn't know there was different kinds of witches. But now I know, boop, and I'd say I'm mostly a kitchen witch or a hedge witch. Kitchen witch because I kind of just use whatever's around. I use spices from the kitchen, and I like to kind of also like a cottage witch. I don't know, that's always just like been really attractive to me, like this old like Wicca in the kitchen, okay? And a hedge witch because I work with mythical creatures and spirits and stuff that are like over the hedge, not a movie reference. Number 4, yeah, what path/tradition do you follow? Now, I don't know what this really means. I know there are, like, the only path I know of is the draconic path, but I mean, I don't really follow it. Like, I work with a dragon, sometimes 2 dragons, but one of them is not nice and doesn't like me, so I don't know. I don't really have a path, I guess. I just kind of do whatever feels right. It's kind of just go with the flow path. Is that a path? That should be a path. Just do whatever feels right path. Okay. 5. Is your craft devotional or secular? How do you incorporate your faith into your craft if you do? Okay. I don't know. Like, I have stuff on my altar, like the goddess and god, which, I mean, I kind of just go Gaia, just something simple. The earth is my goddess. And chaos, I guess, is a god, but, the creative force of the universe or whatever. I don't really have a set religion. I just say, like, when people ask, I just go, like, pagan! Pagan! I just kind of, yeah, I guess it's secular. But I mean, like, I do pray. I kind of just, like, send out, like, oh, please, like spirits of the universe, just help me out, kind of praying. So it's not very like devotional. Like I'll put out offerings, but it's more to like, or actually, yeah, it's secular, but also a little bit devotional, but not specifically to any certain goddess or god. Moving on. Question number 6. Are you a closeted witch or in the open? If so, how do your friends/family feel about your path? Okay, so yeah, I don't hide. I'm not in the broom closet, as they say. I don't care who knows. I'm a witch. I'm witchy. I'm spooky. I'm spookalicious witchy. Um, my parents are okay with it. My mom thinks it's cool. My mom kind of gets into it, especially with like the crystals and oils, kind of like homeopathic stuff. Part of it she's really cool about, and my dad like doesn't even think about it until he has like a football game or something he wants to win at, and then he's like, say a spell for me or something. I don't know. Okay, and I don't really have any friends, so there's that. Yeah. In high school, I had friends. Some of my friends were okay. One of my friends was a witch. One of them was like questioning. I don't know what the other people's was. Bye. Okay, question 7. Are you solitary or do you have a coven? I'm like super duper solitary because, like I said, I have no friends. I did sit in or I participated in a Samhain ritual in 2016. Yes. With a coven, but I wasn't part of the coven, especially now cuz they've all moved mostly. So yeah, soup solitary peeps. Yeah. Okay. Question 8. What is something you wish someone had told you or something you wish you knew when you first started? Something I wish that I had known when I first got into witchcraft is that you don't need a bunch of special tools to get what you need to do done. Okay? Like you don't need all the incense and the fancy words like if I had known that, I would have started way earlier, okay? Like, I only started really getting into it and, like, practicing, like, within the last 2 or 3 years. If I had known back when I first started reading about witchcraft that you didn't need all these fancy tools and, like, ritual clothes and, like, herbs and stuff, if I had known that you don't need that and all you really need is intention, then I would have started way earlier and I would have been like way more relieved and felt way less inadequate. Okay. Number 9. What resource was the most valuable for your beginning practice? What about now? Books, I guess. I got everything out of books. Yeah, books. And also, yeah, I would totally copy down spells from the show Charmed, but forget about that. Yeah, that was the most important resource because I didn't really have many resources beyond books because, books are easy to get, right? And, it's kind of hard to find freaking mugwort or, like, you know, incense that don't just smell like smoke, Number 10. What was your first spell? What was your first spell? Was it successful? I can't remember. I haven't actually cast a lot of spells. I don't really do a lot of spell work, to be honest. Or like big spells. Like I'll most of my stuff is just like acknowledging, I guess. Like I did a prosperity spell a long time ago just for the general family. I don't know if it worked. I mean, we're alive and we're not poor, so I guess it worked. Yeah, but I don't really do a lot of spelly spells. I do a lot of smaller stuff, like just kind of like everyday stuff, which goes back to like the kitchen witch thing. Like I'll enchant drinking water for protection or purification, or food with just keep me healthy sort of dealios. I'll just like go out and I'll touch trees, okay? That's what I do. I try to help trees. I try to protect trees by sending them good vibes. I don't know. It's something weird that I do. So yeah, I guess my first spell was probably the prosperity spell. And meh, we didn't win the lottery or anything, but I'm pretty sure we're better off now than we were then. So it worked? Okay, number 11. What do you do when you feel out of touch with your craft? Okay, so this happens a lot. Like I said, practicing on and off since I was 12, and a lot of that was off, okay? When I feel, I don't know what I do. When I feel out of touch with my craft, I guess, I don't know, watching videos like Miss Azura Dragon Feathers videos, other witchy type videos will help me get back into it. Freaking reading Harry Potter, honestly, will get me back into it. Watching Halloween Town, reading, just kind of thumbing through my, my witchy books. Yeah, just like taking a moment and just being like, okay, I need to like do something, or like rearranging my altar or cleaning it will help me. Going to my local crystal store will help me out, just common sense stuff, I guess, for getting back into things. Like the same thing that happens with theoryantropy a lot. Like sometimes I'll like have periods where I just kind of forget about it. Okay, next question. 12. Have you ever I can't speak today. It's because I haven't had any caffeine today, and it's already 2:41, so I should drink some tea. Okay, number 12. Have you ever doubted your faith or ability? Totally. I've had moments where I'm like, oh, is this real stuff, or am I just, making it up? But then, like, you see how many witches are around, right? Obviously, if it was just made up, then there wouldn't be so many witches, right? And they wouldn't have so many stories about how they know that magic is around, because there are some times when you get this feeling, or you have this experience when you know magic is real. Or like, I had an experience a couple days ago where I was like, what the fluff? Magic is real. I'll tell you, I'll have a story time about that in the next video, because this one is already very long. But yeah, I totally doubt my ability, and not so much my faith too, because I don't like have faith in a lot of things. But that's why like being pagan, or like, being a part of a nature-based religion is easier for me, because I'm like, nature is there. It's all around us, right? It's not something you need. It's not something you can't see. It's something that you can easily believe in, because it's right there in front of you, right? But yeah, I doubt my ability all the time. I don't think that like what I'm doing is gonna work. And when you think like that, of course it's not gonna work, right? So that happens a lot. It sucks, but it happens. It happens to all of us, I would assume. Because, we're all people. We all have doubts, right? Number 13. These questions are really small. Okay. What are some grounding techniques that you find work for you? Now, what is even that? I guess grounding is just like when you feel kind of or stressed out or stuff, and you just have to take a moment. You just have to take a moment. You have to sit down and you have to just be like, yeah, is that what grounding is? Because I know, like, in the ritual sense, it's like when you like do a spell and you get all afterwards, because that happens. You just have to, eat some bread, drink some water, just sit down on the ground and visualize the energy that you raised from the spell coming back through you and going back into the earth. And it calms you down, right? That's what grounding is, essentially. It's just calming yourself. Relaxing, kind of, but also, like, coming back to yourself, I guess. And ways that I do that are, I could just, like, going outside and just sitting. And just, like, I don't know if it's a witch thing or a Therian thing, but I can, like, go outside and I can be having all these crazy stuff about, like, school and about life, and just, like, sit on the ground and get a stick or something and just sort of start digging in the dirt with the stick, and just everything just goes away, right? And you just focus on this one, like, poking at the ground and, like, digging and, like, whatever. I don't know if other people do that, but, not like digging, but, like, with a stick, just kind of, like, scraping at the ground. I don't know why it happens. Or, like, staring at a plant. I don't know. I do that. I grow plants. I'm currently growing some peas, and they're so cute. They're like little pea plants, and I'll just look at them. Or water, looking at, like, running water. I know that's actually a way that you can meditate, by, like, looking at running water and just focusing on it. It happens to me almost every time I take a shower, right? I'll just be sitting on the shower floor, like, looking at the water running into the drain, and I have to be like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be, like, washing myself. So those are ways that I, like, ground out, and it's sad that you can't do it a lot, especially when you're in the shower, because you're wasting water. But yeah, those are just like focusing on something particular, like a particular task, like this digging in the dirt, or just, like, looking at something, or just, like, feeling the wind or something. Okay. What's your biggest pet peeve in the magical community? Dragon Feather had a really good one, and that was, like, all the different groups of witches thinking that there's only one certain way to do things, and if you do it a different way, it's wrong. And I guess this is, like, also the mindset that you do need all these tools, and that you can't just light a candle and say a few words and have that be your whole ritual. Or what I do, when the moon is full around, I'll just go outside, and my whole full moon ritual is just kind of putting on a song I like and dancing around under the moon, right? Not like this whole big elaborate thing. I feel like, I don't know, dancing is a really big offering to deities and to mythical creatures. Dance is really powerful in my practice, even though, I suck at dancing, but, like, music and dancing is really important in my craft, and I think and also singing, it does a lot. It's a better offering, in my opinion, because it comes out of you, It's not just like, oh, I put out, some coins or some milk or some wine or whatever. It's actually something that's personal, and I think that makes it more powerful. So, like, yeah, my biggest pet peeve is that, so yeah, I guess that's my biggest pet peeve, is just people thinking that you need all this fancy stuff to do witchcraft, and you really don't, and I wish I had known that earlier, but, better late than never. Okay. Question 15. What was your biggest spell disaster? Like I said before, I don't really do a lot of big spells. The biggest one I did was a manifestation spell, and that one turned out okay. My most recent spell, which wasn't really a well, it was kind of a spell. I kind of went, I kind of astral traveled, I guess you could say, into the astral plane, this spirit realm. Ooh, because I'm Avatar. I mean, I'm Aang. Um, and got, like, the first time I actually asked for help in a ritual, I guess, with my spirit buddies. And it was something so super stupid. It was a luck spell because my dad had this, like, super big football game, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but he gets kind of scary during the football games and is always really depressed when his team doesn't win, so I needed to do that, and it didn't work, which, I mean, it wasn't like a huge disaster, but it was one of the bigger spells I've done. I don't know why I keep making air quotes. It wasn't like that one. Yeah, disaster. What is your What is your view on black magic? Like Dragon Feather said, I don't think that it exists. I don't think that magic is good or evil. I think it just exists, and it depends on the person who uses it. Obviously, if a person uses magic for evil, like the person is evil or good, the magic isn't. It's like anything. It's like any weapon, right? A weapon isn't evil in and of itself. It isn't black magic. It depends on how you use it, right? So, yeah, that's my opinion on black magic. It doesn't exist. It all depends on what you're using it for. Okay, 17. Is witchcraft an everyday thing, or is it only for special occasions? Like I said before, it's more of an everyday thing. I try to incorporate it in, like, little doses, I guess, with, like, everything, not everything that I do, but, like, daily. I'll, like, do, like, a little, like I said before, just, like, enchanting my water to, bring protection and purification or whatever. And it isn't really, like, a big deal, right? I don't even really do things for the Sabbats or anything. Like, I wish I could do something for the Sabbats, but most of the time I just kind of acknowledge that they're happening and be like, yeah, it's cool. Spring, Ostera. What's up, guys? So yeah, it's more of an everyday thing for me. It's not really, like, a big occasion. Number 18, do you meditate? I meditate. Yeah, I meditate. Not, like, a lot, but, sometimes when I remember to do it or when I feel like I need to do it. But it's not like I strive to incorporate it every single day of my life, right? Though, I mean, that's a great practice. Even if you can just meditate for, like, 5 minutes a day, it's great. Do you practice divination? If so, what techniques? Occasionally I'll practice divination. My favorite forms are pendulum, just because it's relatively simple, and rune stones. Again, just because it's, simpler, I get. Well, the way I do it, it's simpler. Because I don't, like, set them all out and, interpret them, right? I just kind of, well, sometimes I do that if it's, like, a big question, but most of my questions are just kind of yes or no, right? And so, like, the pendulum is great for yes or no questions. Or I'll do this thing where I have, like, 3 stones. I'll have, like, a rose quartz, an amethyst, and obsidian, just because of the colors, right? You have, like, a light one, a dark one, and then a neutral one, right? Yeah, and, like, you ask a yes or no question, and then you, like, roll them, yeah, and then, if the light one is closer to the neutral one, in this case, if the, rose quartz is closer to the amethyst, then the answer is yes. If the obsidian or dark colored rock is closer to the neutral rock, the amethyst, then it's no, kind of like that. I'll occasionally use tarot cards, but I'm not really good at it. I have a deck, but remembering the interpretations is kind of difficult for me. I'd like to get into, like, crystal ball gazing or mirror gazing. Like I said before, I do whenever I get a chance, for running water. Great for both meditation and divination. Yeah, but my favorite forms are pendulum or the rune stones, or, like, throwing the 3 rocks. 20. Moon phases, planetary correspondence, day of the week, hour, irrelevant, or key. the only thing I really pay attention to is the moon phases. Sometimes I'll pay attention to the day of the week because even though the days of the week are technically just made up, some of them do have, more powerful correspondences. Like I know for love spells or finding your soulmate or whatever, you'd want to do that on a Friday, I think, because it corresponds with Venus, the goddess of love. But usually it's just moon phases that play a role in whenever I might do a spell or ritual or whatever. I think it would be cool to learn about planetary correspondence, celestial movement, but I can only pick out Orion and the Big Dipper, right? Spell language. I don't remember Dragon Feather talking about spell language. It says spell language. Do you like it simple? Do you dress it up? Is it poetry? Is it silent? Most of the times, my spells are silent, just because I feel awkward sometimes talking out loud, which is, what I'm doing right now. But, it feels like my voice doesn't sound, right for, spell casting. And sorry for this weird thing I'm doing with my neck. Yeah. So most of the time I just say it in my head, right? If I feel moved enough, I might say it out loud or I might whisper it, but usually it's just in my head. Do you keep a book of shadows / grimoire? I try. I have a little book under my altar with dragons on it that I just kind of write down spells or rituals that I find online that I think are cool or that I might want to try later. But, I don't really write down my experiences or my own spells. I've only written one spell in my entire life, right? But yeah, so I have a book of shadows, but it's just a book that I write down interesting rituals in, which I guess is a book of shadows. Okay, number 23. Do you have an altar? Is it dedicated to any specific deity / season / anything? Yeah, I have an altar. It's not dedicated to anything specific. I just have, a candle, a red candle, and a green candle for the goddess and god, and I have a bowl of salt for earth and incense for air, a little bottle of water for water, and a candle for fire. It's not really dedicated to anything specific, just a general altar. I guess you could say that I have a fairy altar, a mermaid altar, a draconic altar, and I don't know, I have a little wolf type altar, but they're not really central, I just have on top of my bookcase is my fairy altar, and it has little fairies and stuff on it, and on top of my entertainment center I have a little section for mermaids, section for dragons, and a little section for wolves, right? But yeah, that's about it. Thoughts on the afterlife. If I think too much about the afterlife, I'll cry, because like I said, I don't have a lot of faith in anything. I'd like to think that we don't just cease to exist after we die, but who knows, really? You have to die to find out. 25. Do / would you teach and practice witchcraft to your children? Sure, if I had children and my other partner, because I don't actually plan on having children out of my own body, but if I marry someone or start seriously dating someone with children, yeah, I'd teach it, or if the other person was okay with it, it'd be cool. That's the only reason I want kids, not to teach witchcraft, but to just teach in general, because I think it's really cool that you can have such an influence on another person. I don't know, lately that's just been blowing my mind, right? Okay, do you have a totem animal? If so, what is it? I don't really know what that means. After what, Brother Bear totem? No. Dragon Feather said there was a difference between totem power and spirit animal. She didn't go into it. Maybe she'll make another video about it. I don't really know the difference. I don't have a spirit animal, or if I do, I don't know what it is. I've tried meditations to find out. I don't think, I mean, I'd like to say wolf, but, you know, it's just 'cause it's some stereotype, right? I don't know what my spirit animal is, so I'm probably have one, but I don't know what it is, guys. Okay, 27. What are some witch books that have influenced you? Like I said, I had this one book. I could go get it, but I'm too lazy, and this video is already 30 minutes long, by Scott Cunningham. I think it's just like a green book that says like Wicca, Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. That was like the first book on witchy stuff that I owned. I also have another of his called, I think it's by him, called Wicca in the Kitchen, and another like household one, which, you know, a screaming kitchen witch, right? Household and kitchen witchcraft. I also have one on like green witchcraft, and I have Dancing with Dragons by DJ Conway, and a witch's guide to fairy folk, which is one of the other more influential ones. And I have like a witch's year, which has like different little facts and rituals for throughout the year, but you know, the most influential probably the Guide for the Solitary Practitioner, because it was my first book, and the Guide to Fairy Folk, because fairies, because I like fairies, because fairies are very important to me, because I am a fairy, okay? Tools, or number 28, tools, handmade only, natural materials only, I only need my will, anything works if I want to use it. I'd like to say, well, like I said, I'm not really big on tools because I don't have money and I'm not that crafty. I did have a wand that I actually made, and it was a very nice wand, but the thing was, I had crystals on it, and they were on there with duct tape, so, and it was really old, so I threw it away. Or, you know, I dismantled it. I obviously didn't throw the crystals away, and I just broke it in half and threw it away. I plan on making another one. Wands are about the only thing I can make. But yeah, I only need my will, or anything works if I want to use it, basically. I mean, that's what your fingers for, right? That's basically a wand, guys. 29, do you have a magical name? No, I don't have a magical name. I think it'd be cool if I did, but I don't, because names are a really weird thing for me. I don't like names. Nothing feels right, right? Sydney feels okay-ish. But yeah, I'm nameless. And 30, favorite season, herb, crystal, rune, tarot card, symbol / sigil. Season, well, since I live in Florida, we don't actually get any seasons. So if we're talking about like Florida, my favorite season is probably fall or winter, because it's not ungodly hot, right? But if I was like in a more northern state or country or whatever, then it would probably be spring or fall. Herb, herb, I don't know. Thyme. I like all my spaghetti. Crystals. I like all the crystals. Actually, honestly, probably just a clear quartz crystal or an amethyst. I think peridot's pretty too. I have a little bag of peridot stones. I like just crystals in general. Rune, I don't remember any of them. I have a whole little bag of rune stones over there. I have no idea what any of them are. So I don't know. Tarot card. What was it? I think it was the star. Right, or the moon. I like the star. The star, I don't know, for some reason when I got my first tarot deck, which is still the one I own now, the star always kind of spoke to me, and not just because she had no shirt on, right? Okay. Symbol / sigil. Triskelion, triple spiral, or the triquetra, triple crescent, which, you know, like the moon with the two things on the side, right? Meh, one of those. I don't know much about sigils. I have a little guide on how to create them, but I don't like know any specific sigils. Okay, well that's all the questions in this video. 35 minutes long. Sorry for killing everyone. Okay, so remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay special, little snowflakes. I won't feel bad if you don't watch this whole video. Bye!